Hi, I'm an old guy and I do maths. An interesting problem today. What is the angle between the two vectors A and B? Now A and B are vectors in three dimensions. 2, 0, negative 2 for A and 0, 2, negative 2 for B. How do we do this? Well, we use a formula. And this is the commonly used formula. The cosine of theta, the angle between the two vectors, is vector A times vector B, the dot product of those two. And that's divided by the magnitude of A times the magnitude of B. So let's get to work. A times B. Now this is simple matrix multiplication. So we have 2 times 0 plus 0 times 2 plus negative 2 times negative 2. And what that gives us is 4. I've done the working down here. You can see this here. A times B, 2 times 0, 0 times 2, negative 2 times negative 2. Add all those together, you get 4. Now, the magnitude of each of these vectors, if you haven't seen this before, it's going to nevertheless look quite familiar, because if you've been looking at things like the distance between 2 points on an XY Cartesian plane, you'll see that it's basically Pythagoras that you use there. Well, this should look quite familiar then. So the magnitude of A is each component of the vector squared, added together, and then the square root of that found, which surprisingly in each case gives us the square root of 8, which is 2 root 2. And you can see that there's a real similarity between the elements of each vector, so we get a similar result. Then it's simply a matter of putting all this together. Okay, so we've determined that A times B is 4. We've determined that the magnitude of A is 2 root 2 and the magnitude of B is 2 root 2. Right, so away we go. That is 4 over 2 root 2 times 2 root 2. Now, please remember that this is the square root of 8. So we have the square root of 8 times the square root of 8, which gives us 8. We have 4 here. That's 4 over 8. And so we know that the cosine of theta is equal to a half. Now, you can pop that into a calculator and you'll get this result, 60 degrees. Or we can resort to our old friend from circular trigonometry, if I can get my pen to work. Let's just see if I can get this pen to work. There we go. So that is 1, that is root 3, and that is 2. And this is 60 degrees, or pi on 3, 60 degrees. And we're looking for the cosine of 60 degrees, which is a half, and we can work backwards from this and get this result. Anyhow, the angle between these two vectors, as it turns out, is 60 degrees. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you found this useful, or at least interesting. If you did, please like and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Bye.